night if war actually got on.
Well, tell you what, that game is hard to solo.
It is hard to solo, and that's like it's okay at best solo too. I just don't enjoy it by myself. It's like playing Diablo by myself. Not a big fan of it. Like I also told her too, like streaming with War in the party is also a pain in the ass because like War won't.
The capture target
he
has
won't
vital information
allow
that we will
his
need
voice
to
to be shared.
extract. We need our subject brought
just like
back
Kyle on
alive.
that aspect. Or I tried to get Kyle to unmute his mic while playing Apex yesterday, and he refused.
You
So like
found a target.
2/3 of the banter was there, but his was always gone. Thankfully though, he like actually wasn't muted for all of it. He said a word enough, and I'm very like he said at one time like he was missing kids from her stream, and I had to delete the stream because I thought I didn't know if he was like sharing his voice.
Well
and,
done.
oh my god, this match room's already over. But anyways, so yeah, so he said it again like 3 hours into stream, and I freaked out and I forgot about it. And I'm like, oh thank God, so I didn't delete it. But like, thankfully no one heard it and no one can hear it. It was not kosher, and he didn't even care. He was like, yeah, I don't really care. He's like, I'd say it anyways in the stream. I'm like, yo, you can't just say it.
I don't even know what word we're talking about, but I can only imagine.
I'm on stream, so I cannot say the word.
Yeah, I'm not worried about hearing it either.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. It was one of the few things I was told down. I said there's only a couple words you're not supposed to ever say. I said those are the only
I was
ones.
gonna say that.
And those are the ones I never said.
Let's go.
And I try not to say them ever in my existence. What are you doing?
Excellent work. We'll interrogate
So
the
thankfully I
captive
got
back
saved
at
by
base.
that because
Your part is done here, Lieutenant.
escape and he's like, is he muted? I'm like, yeah, he can get it. He's like, oh,
I wonder why Cam won't share his voice.
I don't know. I think Donna asked him one time to unmute his voice, and he said he didn't feel like sharing his voice. But he wants to stream though, so that's his thing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Well, he can share his own voice through his own streams, but not through other people's. That's an option. You have to actually actively turn it on.
Well, see, then in that case, he's gonna be, if he starts streaming, he's gonna get both of our voices. Because both of us are allowing. But on your end, you won't be getting his.
Well, that's my thing. That's, like, I was not very fond of that. Like, I only turned mine on initially because, like, I didn't like my voice being shared either. Because, like, but no one ever streamed. And when Donna started streaming, I turned on my voice. I was the first person to turn on my voice for her because I said, you know, it's only fair. I said, you want good content, you want good, like, banter. I said, I'm not gonna deny you that. That's how you get good views and shit. And she got good views when we were, like, if I was there and we had a good party going, but, like...
I just did not do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. We, like, play with Felicity and Steve, and then everyone we playing, like, Among Us, and she streamed that, and, like, her views would be pretty decent with that, and, like... I don't know if she's still streaming or not, nor am I gonna look. 'Cause, again, I'm just trying to keep myself at the point where I'm respecting her space and everything, but, like... Curiosity, like, actually, like, pains me the idea of, like, is she still streaming? Is she even getting decent views now? 'Cause I don't really know who else she would play with besides, like, the one guy that started with C and maybe Calamity. But even Calamity, she did not really. She like, said she's friends with Calamity, but then she complained a lot about Calamity. Like,
Search
didn't
for
really
the source of the infestation and exterminate it.
I just don't know what all happens in that chat anymore. I just don't even know what all happens anymore.
And that's my thing. And it's like, I know that one thing I mentioned with like that one group chat where Stefan left the chat, and like I saw it on there, the party, and she didn't leave it for like. She just left it like yesterday apparently. I didn't realize it, but like she was in there for like 4 or 5 days. And I know for a fact she plays every night, so it's like, and she definitely was like seeing that making parties and
I'm
shit.
still
that
detecting
was
a lot of infestation activity.
definitely
Let's clean it up.
So I'm like, I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know if that's. It wigged me out. That's all I'm gonna say. It made me overthink really hard, and I was like, I'm not gonna. I don't know if that's like a test to see if I'm gonna be the jump one, the one to jump and be an idiot, or. I don't think that was the case. I think I just like thought it was damn hard. It's probably just because she never was on to begin with. So like as she left that group. Because part of me
Stay
wanted to make a
focused.
PlayStation
There's a
party from
heavy
that
unit
group,
approaching.
but then I just decided not to because I said there's no purpose to do
Porpoise.
so. No porpoise.
Is porpoise an animal?
Yeah, it's a like a porpoise, I think. Well, kind of like an animal, like a manatee. I think it's like a porpoise.
I thought you were about to describe it as a porpoise.
No, as a porpoise. It's a porpoise. A porpoise is a porpoise. Math is math.
I was about to be like, gee, that didn't help me at all.
Yeah, but part of me wanted to. That was part of me, a big part of me wanted to. Like, I'd really struggle at not starting a party out of that to see what happened. Curiosity sated me on why that she didn't just move along with it to father on that.
I'm just mad Cam's not gonna get on.
Well, that's what makes me kind of mad too.
Because it isn't a big game yet, but if they're gonna keep adding stuff to it, it'll be.
The DLCs won't be. I mean, a lot of people apparently don't like that Island big thing. I've been told by
Really?
the reviews are awful apparently because people aren't happy the story's not serious anymore, and like it's just you go into an area and kill zombies, and I'm like, that's what most looter shooters are nowadays.
People don't like killing
Broken their ranks and
zombies?
they are on the run.
They don't like going into
Another
an area,
successful mission.
just
Find
killing
extraction.
zombies and then leaving. It's like there's no story plot behind it. People are saying. Like the story's just weak. It's bad. It's like I'm like I actually like this story more.
I enjoy this one.
That's what I'm saying. I like this story. I like not having to like have. It's not dry, but it's not tense or anything like that either. It's weird where it's, it has the right amount of comedy in it. It's like that. But see, everyone loves Dead Rising. Dead Rising has like that comedic, like meh story. But then people love that. But then Dead Island 2 kind of comes off the same way, and people are like, I hate this. I think that's because everyone's so used to like these like
Another job well
Red Dead
executed.
Redemption, like these like I mean people even complain about the story about Borderlands and like beat that down because oh it's not that good, you know, this and that, Destiny's better.
Now the Borderlands 3 story, I can understand.
Borderlands 3 story is really good in my opinion. And to be honest, the fan base did screw themselves on it. Because Gearbox asked them what they wanted to see, and people said, we do not want to see Jack. And Jack, and when you get the, like, Kyle has the book, because he pre-ordered it and got, like, the Diamond Crate. So he got the book and everything like that for the, pre-stuff.
Right.
And Jack was originally going to be the villain again, because of Tales from the Borderlands. And Tyreen and Troy were actually going to be, like, space pirates that were trying to resurrect Jack and stuff like that. Like, his
That would have been so
de facto
much
kids.
better.
But people, when Gearbox asked everyone at like a convention, everyone's like, "We do not want to see Jack. Screw Jack. We want someone different." So now they're like,
mean,
ooh.
I get it. I
So
get it why they don't want to
everything
see
was
Jack,
flipped
but
around and like messed up from like what I was reading out of that book and stuff like that, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
but
like,
to me, Jack brought the story to Borderlands. Without Jack, it wasn't much of a story.
But the fan base for Borderlands is utterly toxic, and it's like this. It's like the Ouroboros. They eat themselves. They literally bitch. They're like too little loot. Don't like it. Too much loot. We don't like it. The game's dead because you guys waited too long to give us what we wanted. And it's like it's like, oh, this isn't as good as Tiny Tina's. It's Tiny Tina's. Tiny Tina's is literally a dumpster fire of a game. And everyone's like, so good, love it, we need more. It's like they put very little, like they put effort in there, but it didn't seem nearly as much compared to. So I have to go Gaming Drift alone. But basically, it compared to like, you know, Borderlands 3, Tiny Tina's looked like it had nothing put into it in comparison. Like, cool, the grenades were interesting. Like, you could get like a Kel'Thuzad spike from like World of Warcraft for one of the ice grenades, which were really nice. Like, they had good like synergies and stuff like that. Like, it was really, really nice. But in the same hand, the story was bad. I understand it's a side story, but it's like it just was short. The overworld was bad. It didn't feel worth a damn thing compared to Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 had a lot of good story in it.
It did.
People always hated it, and they're like, oh, the DLCs are bad, so not like the movies. When yet, I actually think some of the DLCs in Borderlands 3 are the best. Like, Guns Love and Tentacles is honestly one of the best ones. A lot of people hate on it though because it's a game marriage between Hammerlock and I forgot the name. Hammerlock.
You
and
received our distress signal. Mother will be pleased.
What? Visitors? Look at you now, a real chip off the old monolith, huh? Just the right sort to save us from the coming cataclysm. Come on!
Jack, Space Casino.
We agreed. I was handling orientation protocol.
Sorry, Lloyd. It's just too exciting.
This robot's horrifying.
We are in crisis, Tenno.
Like
Our defense against the Grey Strain has failed.
Face.
The Necrolisk is in lockdown, but it doesn't matter. The infestation has compromised the very heart itself. We have been forced to rephase into Martian.
But how are you, anyway? Things good?
As I was saying, our defense situation is dire. Our remaining necromechs have reverted to their autonomous kill precepts. They will not distinguish you from those things.
I call that one Bitey Scratchikins.
It is imperative you meet Mother, receive her instructions, and prevent the imminent intradimensional catastrophe. Demonstrate your combat readiness, and I will grant you the requisite security clearance. Good luck.
Intradimensional what?
Oh, Tech, I've already explained it.
Sounds like
Okay, I'm back. I was listening, I was just in the bathroom.
Oh, I was like listening to them too, so I really wasn't gonna be like, you were talking to me. How could you? I'm so sad.
I know.
I'm so sad you didn't say a damn thing to me.
Man, I just wonder if there's gonna be a Borderlands 4.
There will be. There's already talks about it. It'll be a while though, probably.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. It took a while for the third one to come out.
Well, yeah, but that's also because of all the development stuff. They actually went through a point where they probably
If we were unclear, demonstrate your readiness by destroying infestation. Only
so that's why they
then
made
will I
Battleborn.
grant
Battleborn
entry
honestly was
clearance.
one of the best games indie games in my opinion. A lot of people like hate on it, and it's like there's another game people hate on for no reason. And it was one of those skills. It's like not a MOBA, but it is a MOBA FPS. Like it's another one of those things where Borderlands, like Gearbox made another mixed genre type of game, and it was very fun. Granted, it came out a week before Overwatch. They didn't really advertise it, and like only reason why I knew it was a thing was because I went to a GameStop one time, saw them put out one of the characters, Montana, which is a big like Texan guy with a beard with a very small head, like, massive, with a very small head and a minigun.
Destroy
This
it
looks
with
really
weapon
funny.
fire.
Start playing it, and actually, like, it was really an underrated, actually really good underrated game in my opinion. Like my favorite character is Mark.
That's got their attention. Hostiles incoming.
Sniper, robot sniper. But he's also like super classist, so like he literally make fun of poor people in welfare and stuff like that on a constant basis, like Gearbox fashion and stuff. Very skill based. I enjoy playing out with Kylo. Actually, got the one had their first time like that. So, post high school, which figured out 25 now, so 7 years ago, basically.
That is too old.
It's when Overwatch basically came out like a month or so after. And people with Overwatch 2 is like basically they're like, oh, Battleborn's just a copy of Overwatch.
Move on and destroy the next time.
Completely based on like things like basically pushing a lane, a singular lane, compared to straight up just doing payloads, and you know, it wasn't just a simple kill as many times as you can. It was you had a lot of health. You had to build a few items, like 3 items, which wasn't much, and you had a skill tree that you level up each time. But they also rewarded you if you leveled up the character itself, because there's a permanent character level, and there was a temporary character level. Temporary was for the when you're actually in game. So each time, and there's a permanent character level, which you basically get from just playing the character enough times. You sometimes got special skill tree level ups from like leveling up your character a certain way. So instead of getting one of the 2 options, you get a 3rd option, which sometimes is really good. And depending on who you fight against, you'd want to change out. Like Marquis level 2 was like a owl reveal. He had an owl named Houdini.
Okay.
And his whole thing was clockwork and stuff, because the LLC were all based on steampunk. You had the pirates, which are all like weird. I would have to say steampunk was more like just like space trash pirates, I guess you can say. Maybe. I don't know if that's the best way to explain it. It was generally good. And then you had like your elves and stuff, like your life people. You had your chaos, like your vampires. I think it was only generally, it was actually pretty good opinion. For what it was, and it was just completely based on them wanting to do something out of the idea that everyone out and wanted to try something, do something different. It's what made Borderlands take a little longer than work on some other projects. Which some of them actually were very good, some of them weren't. The other one, I think, was very good for what it was. And that's the whole thing. Do not give them credit.
Despite this game being a dumpster fire, it's still enjoyable to play.
That means we won!
Clearance approved,
Wonderlands.
I now grant access
you're playing
to
right
the
now.
necrolisk.
Yeah.
Mother awaits.
You mentioned it, and then it got me
it's not
interested.
just completely. Wonderlands isn't completely bad, but I mean, it's not as good as what people make it to be. Especially for as much as they shit on Borderlands 3. They really should be like looking into that and be like, oh well, this game's actually pretty bad too. In fact, it's much worse off. At least Borderlands 3 had good story in it. They tried to keep coherency and everything, which they did. They did a very good job. I mean, you basically find out so much more about the Destroyer yet again. You see more of it. They talk about the 7th Siren. And it isn't, not Reese, my god, Reese is, now, is Atlas. Tyrant Troy. Everyone thought Troy was the 7th, Siren because he was a leech, or a twin, but he's not. There's another actual 7th Siren, which they kept hinting about. And it's in all the logs and stuff, so it's like, you basically get there, and there's a lot of story that goes with it. Plus, now you have the Vault Wars. It's going to start because then in the pre-sequel you see the Vault Wars brought up, and they don't bring her back into that. But you know, with the Tales from Borderlands, you know, Athena's still alive, you know, Janie Springs is still alive, you know, there's a lot that goes into this all. There's just things I kind of wish people would give credit to Borderlands 3, because it's like, Borderlands 1, understandably it's the first game, but it's Borderlands 1 in my opinion is probably the worst, just because how bland it is compared to the other games.
That's one of my favorite ones.
I think it's probably the most bland, because once you play pre-sequel, like Borderlands 2, pre-sequel, 3, Borderlands 1 is just, yeah, it's nice and basic, it's good for nostalgia, but it's always that game that you get bored at a certain point.
Yeah, that's one thing I liked about Borderlands 3, is just because get multiple choices of action skills.
To defend the place. Just
If you pick Zane, it's even better.
Technically,
There's many builds you play around.
And now you face an existential
tried
threat.
to put raids and stuff
If
in
the
there.
heart stops beating,
For
the
a month,
wellspring of your power
very,
dies
very
with
hard.
it.
Have we tried turning it off and on again?
And honestly, like, the raids inside the Cantinas are an absolute...
Tenno,
that's not even a
meet
player,
the
that's,
head of the
they should just be straight up
Entrati
burned.
family.
They're really bad.
What's left of her anyway?
I've never gotten to a raid in this game, or any of the Borderlands games.
Well, Borderlands 3, the raids are pretty good. I got to them, I beat the Evo 10-1. I didn't get to do the other one.
Oh, that's a raid? Oh, I didn't know it was a raid.
Yeah, those are raids.
Then I have done those.
Oh, Lloyd.
Herbivores.
The most
When you have to fight both herbivores,
Here we go
and
the wall
herbivores,
of Loke
that's a nightmare.
was before us.
Yeah, I found that one a pain. I didn't find the other one a pain
my
yet.
Proofs.
Well, that was their attempt
My
to finally add
father's.
something that
I
they
could
wanted to add and
hear
stuff like
him.
that.
I could hear him.
It was hard,
tapping,
but they were going to add more, and then they just
tapping at the
stopped. Everyone's like,
untimed
yeah, we're done playing. It's
door.
game's dead. I'm like, okay.
We went
thank you.
in, but again, he wasn't there. My husband congratulated me. Sarcastic halfwit. All the while, hiveweed was sprouting all around us.
Man, now I want to play Borderlands 3
It was
again.
just a dream.
No, Mother. You did all of that. You're as wormed as the rest of this place. The heart is about to fail, remember?
Oh.
I don't even know if I've downloaded it.
Functional? We are.
don't have it
And we've
downloaded.
summoned Ship here to help us.
It'll take more than an old Orokin thug to keep the heart beating. Same as Deimos. The infestation got in. Got to me and my family. Stole our names, our ideas. I can hear its high voice scratching in my mind. Let the heart stop beating. Let the door close forever. Only my dreams seem real now. So... I sleep. You there. You may prove useful. I don't blame you. You're just the product. The Orokin had no respect for my father's work.
Dang, I
Though
don't
I
even have
suppose you
downloaded.
proved him right in the end.
Otherwise I'd play it.
It's what makes you special. You know that, right? All thanks to my father. It pumps the arteries of the here and the void.
Oh, so this area is
The
very
Entrati
important.
family has maintained it for an age, but it's breaking down, and only that idiot knows how to fix it. The man I used to call my husband.
I can see why Donna wanted me to wait
I
for her,
think he's
but
left for good this time.
wait for her now.
Maybe you can find him. Probably sulking
know.
somewhere outside.
Be on her. So keep father within the Cambion Drift. Do I not? I'll do that. I don't got anything else better to do. Just do more Warframe.
Detecting active necromech signals nearby. It could be Father. He loves a good fight. Whatever you do, don't mention Mother. Nothing he hates more.
The only thing I like about Wonderlands really is the fact that you can actually customize the character.
See, I like that, which I imagine with Borderlands 4, when it comes out, I feel like that's, in my opinion, Wonderlands also was mostly to be done for like testing stuff. Because I do know that he would want to make like very unique grenades eventually, so I feel like the grenades are going to feel more like Wonderlands grenades when that comes out. And also, I do feel like it's going to be one of those things where you're going to see customer characters. I don't know how they're going to really one up Borderlands 3, because Borderlands 3, you play all the strongest, like, all of them. All of them. Zane is the best hitman in the universe.
This must be one of the last of Father's necromechs.
Lamar is the best siren.
I'm also tuned with her powers and stuff like that.
Black Beastmaster.
Black is an archer spot. She has unknown amounts of knowledge. Which, it's probably most likely is going to be absolutely
Its struggle is a valiant one, but I fear the worst for our metal friend.
But like, you keep that in mind, and then you left Rose, who's also basically like the Green Beret in terms of doll. She herself already put the
Rest well, noble warrior. May you someday rise again. Now, to business.
I think that's how it was before with action put Roland to shame. I still think it'd be cool to like see a moving turret.
I mean, that's basically what the mini bear is. The DLC for Warframe 3. That's still DLC.
Yeah, true.
That's just the thing, though. It's like, how much of it is, what's their next thing they're gonna do, though? They're probably gonna honestly make your own character and stuff like that. Because I mean, unless they're gonna make you you're gonna have definitely probably at least 4 characters at most. Try to follow what you want. 6 characters. But like, with that in mind now, like, what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna give you some real characters, pick and choose which ones? Like, you play Zero maybe? I don't think it would. They probably have to give you either the ones from Borderlands 3, or just literally straight up have you. I think they're just gonna have to do characters and look at that way. You know, try to Vault Hunter learning from the best. You know, you give them this new character, new characters. They might even do like the ground characters.
I think that's what they tried to do with Wonderlands, with letting you pick what classes you wanted to merge. So you can make your playstyle more unique.
Well, that's my thing. That's what I'm sure they're doing as well. And that's my whole thing.
Which idea behind it is good, just classes themselves aren't. Some are very good and others aren't. Like Sabomancer is easily the most broken.
Yeah, well I went Spell Shot Sabomancer, so I did mine. Some people are like, well, that's not the strongest, but it is easily very strong. You just can't move non-stop. There's no need for much else in my opinion. That's my thing, is like, the end game for that was very boring. It wasn't, I understand they want to go Diablo style, get like the end game stuff and add things on, and it's like just to add something to your area.
Was coming from over there.
But it just isn't, it wasn't anything good. The end game wasn't that good. Very poor. It felt like the same thing each time. It wasn't like you're doing the OP trials where they're different each time, it's more and more difficult. It just, the difficulty's there, but you're just doing as much damage to keep up with it. It's not, you're just getting better loot as you go. It's great and all, everyone loves loot, but it just did not feel very rewarding, is what the whole thing with Tina's is. A lot of people arguing on that if they wanted to, but it's just how it felt. You know, you get spoiled with Borderlands 3 stuff, and like, yeah, the loot dropped for a while, like a lot too much in fact, but never once did it feel like it was just forced. Like, you always had a
Well, there's always so many legendaries in that game that you never knew what you're getting.
So that's my thing. And then you had to farm specific stuff, and like you wanted to go to OPQ, like when they had the wait for the time. Like, the only thing that really did suck was the limited time stuff. Because then it took for them to finally add the limited time stuff as like an actual, okay, look,
Just like Vent.
Yeah, so it's like, it's there, now you can get it anytime you want. But before, you had to wait, and that was the thing that sucked. As someone who didn't play True Ball Hunter until way after that first cartel event, Like, I refused to play the True Bow Hunter because I was like, oh, you know, I don't feel like I want to go back and do all the map pieces again because I didn't know you'd actually carry them over. I didn't feel like going out looking for all the Tyrion stuff. Because Tyrion, as much as I love Tyrion, he's a great character, but like, or not Tyrion, right? No, because Tyrion.
Typhon?
Typhon, my Jesus. I knew I was messing it up. Tyrion is Diablo. I figured that out, but like I couldn't remember what his actual name is. Typhon de Leon. He's the funniest character in that whole entire series so far, in my opinion, with that. And just hilarious how like he was just made to be this like, crazy sexy guy and he's just like some midget with a whip. Like, I'm a turd farmer. But yeah.
That was like the biggest like psych I've ever seen.
His death was the saddest one in my opinion. I was like, oh, Typhon, no. That was sad. I mourned that day.
I did it.
I was like, damn, the sexiest man alive is gone. How else am I gonna live?
I think my saddest death was Maya, because I loved playing Maya in Borderlands 2.
Listen, everyone was so mad about Maya's death, and really, that's the thing why people hate Borderlands 3, is because it was like, Maya's death is forced. It's like, what about Roland's? What about Roland's?
Yeah, forget Roland, it's okay.
It's just Roland. It's like, then everyone's like, it's like, but Lilith is just as bad as Ava, and you guys love Lilith. She was actually, she's an adult. At least Ava's a child. And people were like, well, she's annoying. It's like, well, yeah, well, guess what? Lilith's annoying, and I'm glad she went into the sun. I hope she doesn't come back ever. I hope she stays in the sun.
She went in the moon.
Or the moon, sorry, not the sun. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I said that. That was embarrassing. She went to Elpis. There's a Phoenix thing on there. That's all protected. It's like, that's eventually, like, I feel like they're gonna, like, release the Destroyer sometime. Like, you think that'd be the next thing, eventually, is to fight. I mean, again, they do make them godlike entities, and the Destroyer still has much more power in there. But I wonder if they're gonna try to find a way to, like, weaken the Destroyer so you can actually fight them and have, like, an actual raid boss.
You fight well for a Warframe. If you're ever interested in something a little more old war-sized. Wait. She didn't send you.
Yeah, I've never gotten very far in
did she?
Wonderlands to go to like endgame.
I'm not going back.
It's okay. Like I said, it's just the same, running the same dungeons.
Look, you were the second wave, kid. The Necromechs were void-shielded, sentient pulse immune. As bright as a bag of hammers, and just as dependable.
Yeah, currently I'm just fighting like Banshee. Again.
When I met her, Mother, she was as brilliant as she was broken. Chasing her father's ghost, convinced he was still out there. I thought I could fix things. I thought I could fix her. Like she was a loose light board or leaky hydraulic. So yes, she's right about me. I am an idiot, but I'm a reformed idiot. I'm done with her. This heart is breaking down is just another tactic of hers. Don't you see? Everything has to be about her.
That went well.
We must prove the father that the heart is deteriorating.
Okay.
And
This will be more dangerous than any gray-string monster we've faced.
Well, it also says 20-ounce bottles.
Daughter.
And they're not quite 20-ounce bottles.
They're 16.9. But it should run out after this one.
Should.
I mean, it's not really, like, I could re-download Wonderlands all over again for fun, because if you want to get through it and then you can see what it's like, but it's not the grandest. It really doesn't feel like, if I had to pick I'd pick Borderlands 2 or 3, whatever one because they'll have their own vibes. Pick one of the two way over Wonderlands. Like, a lot of people love Wonderlands won't eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can't even look at Wonderlands half the time.
I mean, I don't.
This
I'm just kind of doing
would
this
be
as like
where I
a
showed you my birthright of
occasional
ancestral
thing I do.
fish, but
Play it every now and then.
well, you've already met my
But I'm probably gonna end up
charming
downloading
brother. Some
3
remnants
again.
of the original
That's
genetic
what I'm gonna
matrix
be spending
appear
time
to
on
have
since
survived in the exocrine,
Cam's
though the
inconsistent.
infestation is steadily
I can
claiming
download
them.
it once I'm done with this.
If you can catch any and bring them to me, I'd
Mine will
appreciate
take
it. We can salvage
a
anything
while
useful.
to download.
I can't undo what
Are you
he
Wonderlands?
did, but
My
I won't let him
Diablo 3.
have the last word.
Oh, you haven't gotten through Diablo 3?
I mean, not Diablo 3. Borderlands 3.
Aren't you a
thought you did most of that.
fascinating specimen?
Oh, I've already beat the game, yeah.
Organic Fair's exoflesh.
I just did download it
hybridized
again to play it
internals
again.
and time trace.
Oh.
You're a
Okay to
tenno,
play again, but I
aren't
didn't know if
you?
you want. I thought you were trying to get through Wonderlands, so I thought you never got to the end game or even got to that point end game yet.
Oh, I haven't.
You need me to tell you where it is.
But if you wanted,
which I wouldn't have to
no,
bother
you
with
can.
if not for my parents, whose collective heads are so
I play
far
Borderlands 3,
out
it's
their
gonna suck, 'cause I
collective
haven't
lower
done the PS4
sigmoids,
version,
the
so
only
the
air they
PS5 version
breathe
sounds
is
better.
what they secrete.
There's a PS5 version of Borderlands 3?
Yeah.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
It's actually a lot better. You can play 4-man split
at
screen and
us.
everything like that. The graphics
We
are just
are beyond
faster and
help.
everything. Like, it
The
is.
disease vectors are too complex, changing faster than I can study them.
It is head and shoulders above.
We can only prolong the inevitable.
Like, they
Look,
purposely
if
made
you
it
help me
better
get
than
back
the
some of
PS4
what my brother shredded, I'd be happy to return the favor. Deal?
I just exit the Necrolisk. I just grab another quest from her, the daughter.
There's 2 classes I've never really gotten into in Wonderlands.
And those are?
Berserker and, Clawbringer.
Oh. It really depends on which you're trying to do and stuff like that.